Guys, Apple has just announced a new Mac Mini. There's another Mac Mini coming out. It's the M6 Mac Mini. They've announced the trailer, their own little trailer on their Apple YouTube channel, but I haven't seen it. I'll skim through it a little bit. But there's a video here that we're going to be reacting to. It's going to be talking about the whole Mac Mini M6 whole thing. Let's check it out. Welcome back to the reaction show. I'm excited, bro. We got a new Mac Mini. It's exciting. It's so cool. So cool. So cool. Let's check it out. All right. Ready? Let's go. All right. Let's go. You guys ready?
Apple's new M6 Mac Mini is here, and in this video, I'm gonna answer two questions. Number one is, should you upgrade to the new M6 from your current Mac Mini, whether it's the M1, the M2, or the M4? And number two is, which one should you buy and which upgrades should you pay for? Because some of them are honestly pointless, and for some of you, you might actually wanna upgrade to the M5 Pro Mac Mini model that just came out today as well. But before I answer those two questions, I wanna first jump.
There's an M5 Pro Mac Mini? What the heck? I gotta look into this. What the heck? M5 Pro. There's an M5 Mac Mini. Alright.
Into all 12 of the M6 Mac Mini's new changes. For number one, the M6 is Apple's very first 2nm chip from TSMC built on GAAFET chip tech. Now, Apple usually gives their iPhones the new chip, but they decided to give the Mac Mini it first, which is a big surprise.
Wow,
now, in terms
interesting.
of what GAAFET technology means, basically it's gate all around, so it stops a lot of the previous power leakage issues that FinFET had when you're raising the clock speeds higher and higher. It had a lot of waste, a lot of excess heat. Well, GAAFET fixes that, allowing Apple to push the performance higher while maintaining efficiency. Now, for change number two, the M6 is Apple's first ever chip with 3 different core types. We have 2 super cores, 4 performance cores,
we got
and
super
6
cores.
Efficiency cores. Now, the 2 new
We got 2 super cores. That's cool.
super cores, which Apple calls the world's fastest CPU cores, are essentially renamed.
No way, that's sick.
The 4 performance cores are actually brand new mid cores that are more powerful than E cores from the past, and we have the same E cores as before. And this graphic right here by High Yield TV basically shows the difference in size on the actual core die to give you an idea. Basically small, medium, and large. Now, in terms of single core performance, the M6 is probably around 4700 in Geekbench 6, which would be about 10% faster than the M5 and 27% faster than the previous M4 Mac Mini. Now, for multi-core, Apple themselves mentioned that it's 20% faster than the M5, which should get us almost 21,500 points in Geekbench 6's multi-core test, which is actually almost as fast as the previous M4 Pro Mac Mini. Now, for change number 3, you can now get 32 gigs of RAM on the base Mac Mini.
Oh wow, that's sick.
Ever. This was actually a major.
I'm just gonna get the highest configuration. Just get the highest configuration.
Drawback previously for
32 gigs.
Who just needed more than 24 gigs of RAM, which actually forced them to
I need a lot of RAM.
Expensive M4 Pro chip Mac Mini, but now if 32 is enough for you, can now save a lot of money. For change number 4, Apple has upgraded the memory bandwidth to 153 gigabytes per second compared to the previous 120.
That's cool.
And actually, the 24 and 32 gig models are now up to 170 gigs per second. So they probably added more chips in than before, or at least they took some away on the base 16 gig model, which is the reason for the lower bandwidth. Now, for number 5, we have a 12-core GPU for the first time on a base Mac chip, which has been limited to 10 cores on the GPU since the M2. Apple says it's about 30% faster performance in peak GPU compute, which is basically just raw performance. So about 20% of that is coming from the extra 20% more cores, or 12 instead of 10. And the rest of that is coming from architectural improvements like updates to the shader core architecture, dynamic caching, hardware accelerated ray tracing, and also with Apple upping the clock speeds. Either way, it is super fast, being the first base Mac to hit 100,000 graphics points in Geekbench 6's Metal benchmark. Now, almost as fast as the M4 Pro Mac Mini, which is over 110,000, which is just insane for a base Mac. Now, for number 6, Apple also mentioned that they have revamped and optimized the thermal cooling solution on the Mac Mini, which is going to help it keep cool with that faster chip, especially the M5 Pro, which is just insanely fast. For change number 7, this one was a shock, a huge surprise. Apple has essentially put in dual 16-core neural engines compared to just the single 16-core in the past, which is just absolutely insane. This is all about on-device AI for local LLMs and
little
anything
beast,
else
bro.
that comes in the future. This is a massive upgrade, and it's the reason why Apple said this Mac Mini is 4.8 times faster than the M4 Mac Mini, which is actually within LM Studio, testing, time to first token, in an 8K token prompt.
This is a beast.
Parameter model.
This little guy's a
with 4
beast.
quant. So this is actually good enough for solo beginner LLM users with that 32 gig RAM upgrade. Now for change number 8, this is a small change for the one thing that you need to buy if you're buying a Mac Mini, since it doesn't come in the box, the Magic Keyboard. According to Mark Gurman, it's basically identical to the previous version, except that Apple is updating some of the key symbols to match the changes they made to the MacBook Pro, which is honestly a bit boring. But thankfully, our sponsor Newfie has a much better option with their new Air 75 V3, which is a traditional keyboard with amazing tactile keys that feel so much nicer than
I miss the old
Magic
keyboards.
with easily swappable keycaps and online software for
I miss
fully
the old keyboard
customizing
look
the
type
keyboard
thing.
functions. On top of that,
Not
it has
like these new
RGB
keyboards we got
built in
now.
with full customization, and the best part is the compatibility with
It was so much more satisfying when you click the keys on the old traditional keyboards, like the old style. It was just so much more satisfying.
both Mac and Windows with a single toggle switch with 3 different ways to connect. So you can either switch it to the wired mode and connect a USB-C cable, or switch it to wireless, giving you the choice of either connecting it with this built-in 2.4 gig little dongle, or instead you can use Bluetooth 5, giving you the ability to connect to 3 devices
this little
at
keyboard's
once
got
with
everything.
the push of a button. And thanks to the incredible build
That's cool.
quality,
You can connect
the
it
tactile,
either way you
fully
want.
customizable keys, and these little stands built in for extra height and comfort.
Oh, that's cool.
I actually think that the Newfie Air V3 is a better keyboard than Apple's Magic Keyboard, and so do over 200 people who gave it a 5-star review and are extremely happy with their choice. So with that said, forget Apple's Magic Keyboard and buy Newfie's Air V3 instead for their back to school sale, which ends tomorrow. So buy right now for your last chance to get up to 42% off using the link in the description and pinned comment below. Now getting into change number 9, the Apple N1 wireless chip finally comes to the Mac Mini, which gives you Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6, which is future-proof. It's also got Thread networking, which is quite interesting. This might actually be used as a base station for your HomeKit accessories. Now for change number 10, this one was actually a surprise. Apple upgraded the Ethernet port on the back from the previous gigabit to 2.5 gig, which is great, and you can still upgrade to 10 gig if you want for an extra $100, but 2.5 might actually be enough for you. Now for change number 11, this Mac Mini comes preloaded, pre-installed with the brand new macOS Golden Gate built in with the new Siri AI, which has proven to be extremely impressive in the beta version, being so much better than the previous one with features like on-screen awareness for Siri. And finally, for number 12, the final thing that got upgraded is actually more like a downgrade: the price. This thing now starts at $899 base, with 256 gig SSD and 16 gigs of RAM. That is insane. Compared that to $599
that's
for
a
the
good
M4
thing.
Mac Mini at launch. Of course, we have the memory crisis going
on.
So $900 is actually still by far the best value PC you could get.
That's pretty good price though. It's still under
$1,000.
Here it's gonna be more though.
And buying one DIY with parts you buy.
Here it's gonna be like 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, something like that. That's what it's gonna be. Man, they always get it cheaper there, bro.
Newegg,
hate it.
or
I hate it.
Amazon, this is still a much better computer for a better value. And finally, now on to the buyer's guide section. Which one should you buy and which upgrades should you buy? Well, for the base model, who should buy this one? Well, I still think this is the best PC out there for regular folks like your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your great-grandma, whoever wants one. This is the best PC. And then just looking at the performance results and charts, the base model is probably more than good enough for the most common 4K video editing, photo editing, and even programming. However, if you're doing any sort of productivity or editing work, you 100% must upgrade to at least the 512 gig SSD by bare minimum, but I'd say 1 terabyte is my recommendation, especially if you're making money with the work that you're doing instead of just being a hobby. Now, if you're planning on doing photo editing, then you probably want to upgrade the RAM to at least 24 gigs because photo editing is very RAM hungry, and that M6 chip will be bottlenecked like crazy.
It is actually. It used to be. Now it's pretty good.
Photo editing. And as for people planning on doing local
That's
AI
very,
work,
very true.
you already know that you've got to max out the RAM with 32 gigs, which Max Weinbach
Oh, max out the RAM, bro. I'll get 32 gigs of RAM.
Actually recommends
I need the RAM.
32
I
gig
need the
M6
RAM.
Mac Mini as the perfect value Qwen 3.8 27 billion parameter machine. And the beautiful thing is that the M6 model CPU performance is right behind the previous M4 Pro Mac Mini, which was insanely fast, so anyone who needs CPU performance is fine with the M6 instead of upgrading to the M5 Pro chip, unless you need that much more performance. Or actually, if you need Thunderbolt 5 ports, since this M6 base Mac Mini is still stuck with Thunderbolt 4 ports, so that's something Apple didn't mention. And even in the case of graphics performance, the new 12-core GPU M6 is not that far behind the base 16-core M5 Pro, which scores about 122,000 points, so it's about 22% faster. However, since the base price for that model is $1,700, I would only recommend it for people who are actively making money with their Mac Mini. Otherwise, the base M6 model with an upgrade or two is what I would recommend for 90% of people. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think about the M6 Mac Mini down in the comment section below, and subscribe above for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
That's exciting. That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. We got a new Mac Mini. That's so cool. Is it on the website? I would just get the whole 32 gigs of RAM. Seriously. Is it on their website? I don't even know when's it coming out. When is it coming out, or is it out? I got no idea. I wonder if it's on the JB website. I just get it. I'm just gonna get it. 32 gigs of RAM. I need the RAM. I need the RAM because I know how to game on a Mac. Free. Any game. I know how to do it. I might show you guys a tutorial how to do it. I might do a tutorial. But I've just been downloading so many games, and I've just been focusing on downloading so many games. My hard drive is full of games. I got a hard drive, and I've just downloaded all these games, and it's just full of games. It's crazy. Mac Mini. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Probably is on their website. It's probably the right one. It looks like the M4, but it's probably the M6. Yeah, M6. Mac Mini now with M6 and M5 Pro. Let's check JB. Here we got JB, so it's like that's where we get our tech stuff. I don't know, is there a JB in America? I don't know. Is there I don't think there is. I don't think there's JB in America. That's what we got here, though. I bet you that went out. Well, maybe it's pre-order. Maybe it's a pre-order thing. M4. We got the M4 here. We don't have M6 yet. Now, they'll probably show it. They'll probably, what do you call it? They'll probably, put it on the website for pre-order and all that stuff. Yeah. I wanted the M4. I got the M2. I got the M2 Mac Mini, but I didn't know it had 8 gigs of RAM, so I got it for a good deal. I didn't know it had 8 gigs of RAM. The 8 gigs is still good though. You can still game on an 8 gigs of RAM. That's pretty impressive. It goes up to PlayStation 3. I can play PlayStation 3 games on this. I can play any console up to PlayStation 3. PlayStation 4, I need more RAM. Yeah, it's interesting. I might do that tutorial. Anyway, guys, M6. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Mac Mini M6. Yeah, let me know. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy this one. Subscribe. Make sure notification bell is always on, you guys. Stay tuned for my next reaction. Mac Mini M6 is out. It's exciting. I can't wait for the new iPhones and all that stuff to come out too. And see what the new iPhone Fold looks like. The new Macs. I don't even know if we're going to get a MacBook Pro touchscreen this year. I think it's next year. Again, the touchscreen one. I'll have to find out. But yeah, excited for the Fold. Yeah. Really, really excited. Yeah. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below, you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. That was good. That was really good. Alright. Take care, you guys.